What's up, everybody? It's your boy Glenn, back with the Fade Podcast, doing another Bears mock draft here with 9 days to go to the NFL Draft 2023. Today's draft, I'm going to focus heavily on the defense. Let's pretend that Ryan Poles is sitting here thinking that this offense, sure, you could use some line depth, but let's pretend in this situation that, he's thinking first round picks got to be defense, and that Larry Borom will be at least a serviceable right tackle for this year if needed. And we'll just add some depth maybe in the mid to late rounds. Let's pretend that this is going to be a very defensive heavy draft, and we are going to try to rebuild this defense between the free agency signings and this draft. Get a nice strong base of this defense. So that being said, let's hop right into it. Defensive draft. Will Anderson, Jalen Carter, Tyree Wilson, none of them fall to us at number 9. Now, Devin Witherspoon does go to the Lions. Christian Gonzalez is the number 1 cornerback on a lot of people's big boards. Joey Porter Jr. is a top 3 cornerback as well. If we're looking at edge, any of these 3 guys, Murphy, Van Ness, Nolan Smith, I think any of them make some sense here. On the interior, where I think is probably the biggest need right now, I like Cansey, I like Bresee. Obviously, Jalen Carter's gone. I like Mozzie Smith, but not necessarily for a 3-tech role. Deontay Banks is maybe an option. Let's go ahead and see if we couldn't still... Let's stay put for the sake of this draft. If we're staying put at 9... I think it's either Bresee, Miles Murphy, Van Ness, Gonzalez. This is going to be controversial, but with the way that the 3 technique impacts this defense, Brian Bresee is going to be my pick. The interior defensive line is a little thin in this draft. Bresee... he was playing a 2-gap system in college, not really penetrating too much, but he moves incredibly well for a big man. We're going to hope that we can mold him into the 3 technique that this defense needs. Brian Bresee, a lot of people are going to determine this as a reach. At number 9, it might be. If this was like a slight trade back to like 13, 14, I think it makes even more sense. But we're going to go with Brian Bresee. All right, here... At the 23rd pick of the second round, cornerback, DJ Turner, Tyree Stevenson, Eli Hicks are probably the 3 I like at this the way the board's fallen. Let's go with Felix Anudike Uzama at the edge spot. We're going to go ahead and take Keon White out of Georgia Tech too for some extra rotational defensive line help. And then here I think we look at corner. I personally like DJ Turner a lot. Great athlete. Maybe a little undersized. Maybe the only question there is he more of like a slot corner? I think he can play inside outside though. Stevenson's got a little more size. Ricks has got even more length. Do we give it another round? Let's go a little out of the box. Let's go Deion Henley here. Linebacker. Now let's pick a corner with this next pick. First pick of the second round. Or excuse me, the 4th round. We might need to go tackle. We're going to grab Wanya Morris as a tackle option. Let's see if we can't pick like a decent corner here with this late 4th round pick. The other day, I think I went with Mekhi Garner. Let's go with a guy that there's a lot of mixed reviews on. Let's assume maybe the Bears got a higher grade on him than most people. We'll go with Rajon Wright, cornerback out of Oregon State. I've seen reports where he could go as early as like the 3rd round. I don't know if I'm that high on him. All right, let's come back and go Olusegun Oluwatimi, center out of Michigan. Probably still use a tight end. And obviously defense like we talked about early. Let's go Daniel Scott out of Cal. Guy who had a great combine. Decent production too. All right, next pick is until the 7th round. I'd like to go another corner. I'd like to maybe go another linebacker. See how the board falls though. We also did not get a tight end yet. Let's go Davis Allen. Number one guy on this big board here for Walk the Mock. Let's end this out with, we picked Cameron Brown the other day. Nick Jones. Let's go Nick Jones out of Ball State to end this out here. So we'll do a quick little recap of the mock draft here. We got Brian Bresee, Felix Andy, DK Uzama, and Keon White all adding hopefully key contributors to the defensive line. Dan Hanley probably pushes Jack Sanborn for that starting linebacker position. Wanya Morris and Olusegun Oluwatimi are going to be some nice depth pieces on the offensive line. Rajon Wright, Nick Jones going to compete out for potentially a cornerback spot. Worst case scenario, they add some depth. Daniel Scott going to add some depth behind Eddie Jackson, and Davis Allen's going to be that third tight end that we are looking for with needs on this roster. So that's the mock draft today. 9 days before the NFL draft. I am getting pumped. I'm getting psyched. Like I said, 99% of people that are looking at this draft are probably going to say Bresee is a big reach at 9. I slightly agree, other than the fact that he has the potential to probably be the second best 3 technique coming out of this draft, potentially. Big enough to play rundowns and pass, quick enough to be effective in the pass game and pass rush. His scheme and defense did not set him up for in college. His college defensive scheme did not set him up for success in terms of racking up sacks and compiling tackles for loss, things of that nature. But I think he's got all the physical tools to be a difference maker at this next level. Overall, I think this is a draft where defensive depth is taken care of immediately. You can come into this season and feel pretty excited about the trajectory of this defense. Is it going to start out weeks 1 through 8 as a top 10 defense? No, but I also don't think you're dead last like you were last year. And I think, come second half of the season, this could be a defense that starts pushing that top 10, mold, top 12, especially if our coaches know what they're doing. So, all right, if you're new here, leave a like, leave a subscription. I greatly appreciate it. If you want to comment below, let me know your thoughts. I'm assuming most people aren't going to like the Brian Bresee pick, but that's my pick. Till next time, it's your boy Glenn. Go Bears.